We're just reminiscing about how Jillian's car was much easier to light, because just two things up here. Boop, boop,
really, really
lit.
light, like really, really bright overhead lights up here made this whole thing simpler.
Yeah, those were the days. Anyway, fuck.
So, what'd you think? For your first time seeing one of these
In the theater.
at the theater, opening weekend, fucking packed crowd.
When I was pointing things out to you before the movie started, it was like, you remember the movie The Rookie with Charlie Sheen and Clint Eastwood?
Yeah.
I'm Charlie Sheen and you're Clint Eastwood. You've seen the shit and I'm new to this.
Just have like Madea heads painted on the door of the car. It's like, this is how much action I've seen.
Well, it's... God damn it. Alright, it might take a second before we get to the sexual masterpiece.
We should mention that.
We should mention it's me here and not Dave. Okay, like...
So Dave had some bullshit excuse or another.
Something about a newborn. I don't know.
I'm not buying it.
I don't buy it.
Wrong.
Only time I talk to him is on Thursdays. Yeah. Wrong, Dave. Wrong. Liar. So I texted Dave. Dave and Sarah got home with the baby about a week or so ago, and so a few days ago I texted him and was just like, I know what the answer is gonna be, but if it were any other movie, I was like, do you still want in on Madea on Thursday? And he wrote back, and he goes, I'm gonna have to play it by ear, man. Pretty tired. I figured. I just wanted to visually see the scales in his head, like newborn baby at home.
It's like
Madea.
I could use a few minutes out of the house, but
either way, you're gonna hear some screaming. It's just which one do you think will give you more of a headache and cause you to lose more sleep?
But my God, the idea of sleep-deprived Dave.
At this bullshit? Fuck. About a half hour into this movie, I
haven't slept more than 20 minutes solid in the last week. Do it.
Well, you ain't gonna get any sleep in that fucking movie theater. No matter how tired the movie makes you. You could be an insomniac. And man, so we go into the movie theater, and it's packed. It's legitimately packed. Like, there was a...
bottom to top.
Yeah.
Like it's the fucking Avengers.
Yeah. And then we were sitting there, but hell, before you got here, there was a line.
When we were leaving this screening, there was already a line formed for people waiting for the next show.
There was. And like, so we sit down.
And they looked impatient.
I was too, for different reasons. So we sit down. I turn around, and this is kind of what I mean when I mentioned earlier, like, oh, I'm like the rookie in this theatrical situation, because I turned around and looked at the audience, looked back at you, and went like, this is packed, and it's like predominantly like young white people here.
Every single one of these I've gone to so far, the demographic has been generally like a handful of like late 30s, early 40s, like, black couples. And then a sea of, like, white high school girls.
That's what this audience was. And when I said that to you, you were just like, yeah. That's about right. That's about right. The only reason this one might have been more crowded than, like, the other, was it Witness Protection and Christmas and Temptation? Because, like, we're seeing this on a Saturday, and I believe for those it actually was like the Thursday night screening.
Yeah. All the other ones were like the preview screening, or like if it wasn't like on a Thursday, it was like a midnight screening on like the Friday or something.
Yeah.
Like I seem to recall like when we left from Witness Protection, like it was like Jillian's car,
Yeah.
my car, and then like the 2 employees that were left to lock the doors.
Yeah. I think I might have been at the Watch that night. Huh. Just when you think, I have seen some of these movies, but not in the theater before. Well, I saw Single Moms Club in the theater, but I hadn't seen a Madea movie in the theater before. And if there was any slight enjoyment I got out of this, it was, I cannot think of the last time that I've been to a this is regardless of what I think about this film. I can't think of the last time I've been to a comedy where I have heard like an audience laugh
People
this
actually
much.
giving the reaction that like when you see like people going to comedy movies in movies, or if you're watching like fucking like you go to like, you know, you go to a theater or you're watching like a special on TV or something, like an actual like stand-up special. That was the reaction that we were getting in this theater.
Waves of, there was more.
There were times that the laughter was louder than the movie was. So there would be a joke, but it'd be like a series of rapid fire jokes. So the first one would hit, roar of laughter. You'd miss the second one, but then you'd hear like the third or the fourth joke and like this scream of nonsense.
Which is probably why every joke is repeated about 10 times in the movie. You're likely to hear half of them. It was insane. It was that the girl next to me was like practically on the ground. Like, I'm not exaggerating. Like, she was like on the ground about to like pass out from like just bursts of laughter. Well, in this,
or there'd be like a scene like there'd be like a joke beat and everyone would start laughing, and then it would cut to the next scene, and it would be going about things before anything is happening, and there is still like the after shock of like laughter going through the crowd. So it's like they're not stopping. Like, it's not like ha that was a joke. It's like, no, like here's a quip. 5 minutes of solid laughter going over the next scene where it's like father and daughter having like a civil conversation. There's still people laughing from the previous shit.
Yeah! There's people laughing in like scenes that I'm pretty sure aren't even English. Fuck! I feel like I feel like there's a lot to say about this movie, but I can't think of what.
That's normal.
Don't get me wrong. I'm not like, wow, I really can't think of anything to say about this.
Oh, this is a terrible movie, in case we haven't made that apparent yet.
Oh, my God.
It's god-awful.
My God. And I know, like, I know this is going to be a long video, but my God, I don't know where to start with this fucking thing. Other than, well, I mean, even before seeing this with a live audience, I knew that these movies have an audience. They certainly do, but my God, there was more uproarious laughter in there than when I saw Young Frankenstein 2 weeks ago. Jesus. Okay, so I'm trying to figure out a place to start with this goddamn movie. I don't know if to start with the beginning or what. I don't know.
Well, and it's a thing too, and it's very much how all of these are. And I think it's because of the fact that generally, as far as I know, all of them start as like a stage play and then are done into this. But that might not be true in all cases. I'm not entirely sure.
And there's a lot of them that are, but they're kind of radically different in theaters than they are in the stage play. This thing, dude.
But you can tell a lot of the time because like,
oh my God. Yeah.
when they are on a scene, that's it. That's this scene. So it's like it's beholden to the same sort of way that you would have to do a stage play. Is that like, well, I don't even know what you would call him, like Tyler Perry Prime in this movie. the one where he's actually himself.
Yeah, Brian. Yeah.
His house, from the 35 establishing shots of it,
Oh, fuck me with that.
is gigantic. His house is huge.
Yeah, it is. It looks like it looks like the gothic mansion Myers house from Halloween 5.
Yeah, it even has like a fucking like turret on this side.
There's it's the same establishing shot. It's the same wave of fog that's going over the goddamn thing.
And this place is gigantic, but you only ever see 3 rooms of the house.
Yeah,
Because it's built like a stage play.
because
So,
one
like,
of those rooms is easily a third at the least of this movie.
Yeah, that living room or parlor or whatever you want to call it,
Get used to that shit.
that thing deserved its own fucking credit because it was in more of the movie than Medea was.
Dude, I leaned over to you after that scene.
Because yeah,
I
that's
leaned
the
over
thing
to
is,
you like
they do that. That's what these movies are.
it felt
are
like
doing because like they have to like it's like, oh well, we're not gonna break down and like break set and like transition every 5 minutes on a stage play. We're in this room. We're in this room for the next 15 minutes.
at the least. Holy shit. And like, just when you think these movies, they can't possibly get worse. I remember Madea Christmas having at least a few more locations than this film. At least
That one had a surprising number of locations comparatively.
comparatively speaking. Oh yeah. And I gotta say another thing about this is no matter what you think a movie like this will be going into it, nothing is gonna prepare you for the onslaught of what the fuckery you're about to watch. Like, if you see the trailer for this thing and you think it's gonna be like Ernest Scared Stupid, but with Madea, zombies rise, they chase Madea around, maybe there's a curse in the town, blah, blah, blah. No, that is, what would you say, 10 minutes of this movie? And
If that.
yeah, that is maybe 10 minutes of this movie. It comes in probably about 70 minutes into the thing. This movie's bullshit. This movie's absolute just fucking bullshit. Like that scene where they're in that parlor and it goes on for about 20 minutes. I don't even know how much of this is from a script because the fucking bloopers at the end, it was more just alternate takes. So it looked like they were just Tyler Perry filmed them rambling for an hour and used 30 minutes of it for one scene.
And here's the thing of it too is, okay, it's, I don't even care to really talk too much about the story, just the weird shit, but
Once we get to the ending, we'll definitely have to bring up the story.
yeah. But this scene that we're talking about in this parlor, basically, Tyler Perry Prime has called Madea over to help with like some problems he's having with his daughter. And she brings a few of her friends.
She brings
And also Tyler Perry's character's dad,
Joe.
who is Medea's brother.
Yeah.
And-
and that
So this scene that not only goes on for 20 minutes of like straight continuous dialogue.
mm-hmm.
There are, let's see, there's Tyler Perry, Madea, Joe,
the fucking
the one with the canes, and then the one that I couldn't understand a single word she said.
yeah, the one who was like they accidentally got Victoria Jackson to play a Maya Rudolph character. Yeah.
And so out of 5 characters in this scene, 3 of them are Tyler Perry. So it's not even like it was one continuous loop of people riffing, because he had to be 3 different people
Yeah.
who are doing this.
It's ridiculous. Like, no matter how long this video turns out to be, it won't feel as long as this scene is at all. Like, nothing of the scene did not need to be this goddamn long.
Because basically all it was a setup scene. Is basically he calls them over and they don't know why. And so his thing is basically, the point of the scene is him saying, okay, so look, I've got to leave the house to, I don't even remember why he couldn't be home.
I can't remember either.
And so And he didn't want his kid to like leave to go to this party she was talking about going to.
Yeah, this
and
frat party.
She wouldn't agree to go over to like his ex-wife's house, her mom. So he was gonna like have Madea come over and basically just like hang out in the house so she can't leave. And that's all he's trying to explain. That's the setup is, hey Madea, I need you to watch the house. Homegirl upstairs is gonna try to leave, just make sure she doesn't leave. And that's it. I'll be back later tonight, I guess.
This scene starts maybe 15 minutes, maybe 15, 20 minutes into the movie. And no, that's it. That's the reason why that scene is there. But what we get...
Yeah, that's the whole thing. Like even with like one or two jokes in there, it should not be more than 5 minutes long.
No, it shouldn't.
It should be a passing like transition scene. And then like any other movie would use that as like a quick transition scene for like, you know, Brian's character to be like explaining things like, look, she's gonna try to leave, just play it off, act like you just stopped by.
No, bitch. Like, Daddy, don't go saying that in the house. What? Say what? Say what? You know. What? You know. What, bitch?
And then it turns into this weird 20-minute long improv comedy sketch.
Most of it was...
It's like you get to the scene and then you have to watch an entire episode of Whose Line Is It Anyway? And then it goes to the next scene.
Mm-hmm. It's a lot of like, yeah, I smoke weed. I sit here smoke weed, but look, I got a card. It's a lot of it is jokes we've already seen in this movie, even this early on into it, because this movie...
When it's 15 minutes in and you're already going back to stuff you've already done...
The girl pissing herself, the weed jokes, the horny old man, Madea being a hooker, sex worker, stripper, drug addict, blah, blah, all of this. This movie, honestly, if you break it down, as rambly as this shit is, as rambly as every scene is, it really probably only has about 6 jokes in it. It just repeats those same 6 jokes every 5 minutes, even if it's the same goddamn scene that you just saw the goddamn joke in.
Well, yeah.
I disagree. Well, you're paying more attention than me.
I was trying to think if there was anything to add to that, but it makes me remember the 2 fundamental rules of comedy: repetition and repetition.
Mm-hmm. The rule of 3, man.
Like, just keep saying it, and if you get to 3, start back at 1.
Yeah, just start over again. Just gotta make sure it's divisible by 3. That's why I said it does it 6 times. And my God, like as moral as these movies try to get near the end of it, they'll start out with like, this movie opens up with Madea like stealing candy from the children and like, again, like apparently she was a hooker at some point. But we find out in this movie, I guess she's on the terror watch list. We also find out, I guess she is a guy in drag.
Yeah.
Unless that's been established in other movies that I missed.
Oh, no. She's a woman, according to the movie. You just have to think, all the times that she's being referred to like that is Joe, like, trying to get a dig on her.
Mm-hmm. I don't know. I mean, she started talking like... Tyler Perry started using his real voice towards the end of it. This is... My God, like Fat Grandma has a more consistent continuity than Madea. Fuck. And Fat Grandma blew up the Earth once. Just wait for Madea in space. It's gonna happen. And if it's anything like this, it'll be 10 minutes of space and then riffing in like a parlor room for 45 goddamn minutes about pot.
I can't believe that you didn't like Halloween with the Crumps.
Man, that movie at least had scenes. Like, you know, if you go see the Clumps in the theater, you walk out, regardless of whether you like that movie or not, you're like, well, I guess the trailer didn't lie to me.
At least those movies, like the Nutty Professor and its spin-offs, at least had the technology to have more than one Eddie Murphy on screen at one time.
This movie did. Like, did you see those shots where, like, Brian was in the same frame with, like, Madea and everything, and
Over the shoulders?
No. There actually were shots in there where
I missed them.
You did? There was at least like 2 or 3 where they're actually like face to face with each other. Dude, I don't blame you if you missed it. Like I can't believe
See
like
the staircase in the background and it's all split like oh.
I was looking, believe me, I was looking for that. I needed something. Like, because I leaned over to you like 20 minutes into that parlor scene, like this scene's not going to end. This scene is never going to end. And you're like, yeah.
It's the rest of the movie. The whole rest of the movie takes place in this one room.
You know what? This audience wouldn't have cared. They would have loved that shit.
That's the twist. This entire movie is a bottle episode.
Yeah.
It's like, well, I guess since we're locked in this closet, we might as well bullshit.
Medea's Breakfast Club. That's what it is. Medea's Breakfast Club. She plays Principal Vernon. I got your ass for 2 weeks. Months, sorry. Fucking this shit. The plot of this is it's a movie that's not about zombies. It's barely about Halloween.
It's Tyler Perry's daughter wants to go to a party at the worst, like,
it's
fake frat house.
It's named
ever.
Yo. The fucking frat house is named Yo. I apologize if someone actually belongs to a frat house. Wait, no I don't. That's stupid. Yo, fuck off. Alpha Betas will kick your ass.
But yeah, it's this, like, if you were putting together, like, an episode of a really gimmicky laugh track comedy, and like, oh, this episode, like, they have to go to this frat house. This is the frat house.
Yeah, because they're all 40. They're all fucking 40.
But yeah, they're trying to set up the like, we are the dopest frat on campus, and our parties are ill.
That is all of their dialogue, all of their delivery. Is that. It's like, we're having the sickest Halloween party, you what? They're fucking breakdancing in the hallway and shit. What? Oh, damn!
That one guy uses that line of his, like, 15 times.
Which one?
It's like, oh, hey, my name is Jonathan, and I'm the El Presidente of this here fraternity.
I am the El Presidente of this party, what?
He uses that. At one point, at least 3 times within like 5 minutes.
I've seen the Neighbors movies. I know you can write these type of characters to be funny. This isn't it. Fuck. This is a fucking 45-year-old man writing. This is a frat party that has a goddamn celebrity cameo in it.
But yeah, the fact that they have someone, like, the celebrity cameo is, like, during the party, they're like, it's like, all right, everybody, now give it up for Tiger!
You gotta be kidding me with this shit.
And then Tiger comes on and starts singing Rack City, and it's like, okay.
We're doing this now.
But here's the thing, is that when you have somebody who's actually, like, 25, standing in a room of people who are supposed to, technically, if they're in college, and I don't think any of them were going for an MD, so they're younger than 25, and he looks like he's younger than everyone there by about 10 years. Mm-hmm. Like, every single guy in this frat is ridiculously aged.
Yeah.
Like, there's a couple guys, like I said, like, that one guy, like, he looked like he could have been, like Batista's stunt double for Guardians of the Galaxy. Mm-hmm. This dude is just jacked as hell, but he in no way looks like he is the age-appropriate one for, like, this frat house.
I kept waiting for that to be the joke, that they look old, that they look that old. But other than at the beginning when Brian says, like, what are you all, 65 or something? Like, really,
because they start calling, like, it's like, oh, look at you, old man. Mm-hmm. It's like, you guys look like you're the same fucking age.
Yeah.
And even at that, I mean, Tyler Perry honestly doesn't look that old. I mean, granted, he looks younger as Madea than he does as himself, which is weird.
Maybe because when he's Madea, he's clean-shaven, maybe.
I guess that's it. Like,
Usually when he's like, and plus, like, I can't tell you how many fucking times this happens in one of his goddamn movies. Whenever he has a character who's just him, like out of makeup, whatever, there's always someone standing in there, and he comes walking up, and some character leans over to the other and goes, "He's so fine." In this, it was like a fucking 17-year-old.
Yeah, like his daughter has a couple friends. Like his daughter's just a terrible bitch.
Horrendous.
And her best friend is like a preacher's daughter who's also 17, and then they're hanging out with like the two most popular and pretty girls at school. So we've got to do good to keep in their good graces. And yeah, like 18. Tyler Perry walks up with his weird like potato body. And he was like, "Girl, get in the car. You're coming home. Get in the car." He's like, "Dad, we live like 3 houses down. I can just walk." He's like, "Get in the goddamn car." Mm-hmm. And yeah, like one of these like 18-year-old high school girls is like, "Ooh, but he's so fine." Like, no.
Our auteur, ladies and gentlemen.
It's like, God damn it, Tyler Perry, stop writing that in. It's like, and also I'm handsome. Don't forget that part.
You gotta just do the complete opposite like I always do when I write and direct something. Cast myself as the worst person ever.
Just sleazy or just crooked.
Exactly. Even when I play a romantic lead, I play a hardcore alcoholic. Man. Yeah, Jesus Christ, what the fuck else? But yeah, so plenty. Like,
so the basic plot is like, okay, his daughter and her friends are told not to walk past this frat house. Mm-hmm. And she walks past the frat house, and the frat guy's like, "Yo, we're having this dope ass party tonight.
Damn!
You guys should come." And they're like, "Okay." Tupper's like, "No, get your ass in the car." Heads home and is like, "Look, I don't want you going to some party. You're 17. You can't go to some party. You're 17. She's like, "I hate my life, Dad. I'm going to my room."
He probably shouldn't go to a party like that regardless of what your age is. Oh, fuck. Like, yeah, and is for the critics out there who didn't like Jack Reacher 2 largely because they thought the daughter was annoying, your head will explode when you see the kid in this fucking movie.
Yeah, it's like if the daughter in Jack Reacher 2 is your sole experience with having like a weird, like obnoxious, like daughter character in a movie, yeah, I could see that. You know, you've just never seen a movie with a kid in it. All right, whatever. But if you do a compare and contrast, fucking leaps and bounds.
It's ridiculous. Like, this kid is like a sitcom fucking nightmare. There's not a parent in the world who wouldn't have chucked this kid out a fucking window. And that's basically the plot of this movie is all about, like, parenting. Like, stern parenting. That is essentially what the plot of this fucking movie is.
Yeah, like, one of the big points they try to hammer home through the whole fucking thing is dealing with, like the notion that, like, parents today are too lenient and soft, and kids today are too entitled and get away with everything.
Oh yeah, because apparently Madea turned out great. She's on the fucking terror watch list, apparently. The movie ends with her, like, running away because she's got warrants against her.
We know that because she mentions it about 5 times in the movie.
Yeah. Hasn't she already been to jail? Wasn't that a movie?
Yeah. I think it was even called, like, Madea Goes to Jail or something.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Which is probably why I thought this would also be like an earnest movie. Boy, was I wrong. God.
But, so the daughter and her friend decide that how they're going to get away with this situation to still go to this party and save face with the popular girls is, since Madea and her cavalcade of friends are at the house now,
fuck them so hard. They can fuck right off. That one fucking, like, SNL meets Mama's Family character. Oh, the joke is the actress isn't really that old. That means she'll shake her ass on the dance floor and speak something that's not fucking English.
She has the weirdest speech impediment that applies to nearly all letters of the alphabet. It's like they said, like, okay, here's what we're thinking for your character, is that she talks like she's fucking deaf.
Mm-hmm.
But she's not. She just sounds like she lost the ability to hear when she was like 8 years old.
Mm-hmm. And we have this character through the entire movie. Through the whole fucking movie.
So several times the joke is that she's saying things and no one knows what the fuck she's saying.
Shitty! You what? I'm shitty! Well, why are you saying that then? I just feel shitty, like, oh, you mean chili. Oh, by the way, I did a really quick version of that fucking joke, because boy, that's another one that goes on for several fucking minutes.
Yeah, the movie got real comfortable in that joke. It kind of walked it around for a little bit, tried it out.
Mm-hmm. Oh, sorry, me saying fuck a bunch of times in a row right there just reminded me of there's a part in this where this movie mutes the F word. Did you notice that? It was when the clown came up to them at the beginning of it. This is how Joe and the dipshit Mama's Family character appear in the movie, as they come walking up to Madea at the beginning of it dressed like clowns, and it ends with one of them's in a giant Jack-in-the-Box and Madea punches them. I don't fucking know why they didn't think that's how the situation would end. Like, what are the odds? You're fucking lucky she didn't pull a chainsaw out on you.
The way these movies go, that's a fair point, yeah.
Yeah, she has had I think that was the first one where she came running out with the chainsaw. And so, yeah, in that, she said something, and it was I can't remember what it was. It was either a lyric or it was a phrase or something that normally says fuck, only it was muted, and it wasn't just because the audience was laughing uproariously.
Well, I noticed, like, whenever Tyga has his moment in the movie where he's singing Rack City, like, it's the radio edited version.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so they basically they come up with this scheme on how to get out of the house, which is convince Madea and her friends that
ghosts.
Yeah, that this house is haunted. And apparently this girl has like this little like clicker remote that turns on and off every single light in the house with one button.
Not only that, it also makes it sound like there's thunder outside, and like,
and all of the lights like flicker when you use it. It's like this seems like a really like I can't imagine like a normal day to day like oh man, shit, it's midnight, I gotta work in the morning, like click.
Yeah, like some gadget where the main functions, you hit the button and it turns your house into the Amityville house. That's what she has in this. What would you say this happens? 45 fucking minutes into this goddamn movie?
Probably.
Longer than it fucking should.
It could have been 10 minutes. It could have been 5.
Oh, it wasn't. This was because this was after the giant parlor scene. By the way, this is the real victim of this whole situation. Like, at least we're venting about it afterwards.
Say hi to the people at home.
Poor lady's back there to sit through this shit. Now back there trying to sleep while we're screaming about it.
You're too off screen. Right about here's your cue. Here's your moment. There she is, folks.
Oh, hell, did it go see you back? See,
I learned. She volunteered. I want to make that very, very apparent. It wasn't like I had to convince her. She was like, I don't know. Let's go to see the Madea one. Are you ready to head out? I'm like, yeah, I guess.
Because there's just something in your head where it's like, you just gotta know. You just gotta know what's gonna. It's not like this is different than like When the Bow Breaks and stuff like that we know is gonna be hilarious because it's not supposed to be funny. This shit. Anytime you get a laugh from a movie like this, it's not because of the parts that are supposed to be funny. It's because of the parts when it gets dreadfully serious. But you just. A movie like this and Saving Christmas and it's even like Single Moms Club, it's like, you know it's gonna be bad. You know it's gonna be a train wreck, but you don't know how until you see it. You just don't know. Because walking into Madea Christmas, you're not gonna think like, oh, I bet you there's gonna be a part where Madea crucifies a girl in a classroom. Oh no, you gotta see that shit for that to play out. That happened in that movie, by the way. I wouldn't say this movie even really got as insane as that. For the Halloween one.
Yeah, surprisingly. Like, I don't know, like, this movie had to have been made at some point months ago. But the reliance on, like, everything being about clowns,
dude,
felt oddly like this. Like, it made it feel like, was this script written 3 weeks ago?
No, here's what I was thinking. I was thinking, is that whole clown sighting thing been like insanely like genius viral marketing? Right?
I love the idea that this nationwide hysteria / craze was started to promote this movie.
Yeah, wouldn't that be amazing?
Well, the first reported sightings I remember hearing when people were talking about that was down in like the Carolinas, and Tyler Perry lives and films all of his stuff down in Georgia.
Yeah, exactly. There's like
there might be something to this, man.
There's moments in this movie where it feels like Tyler Perry's like remaking. I'm talking about the plot of this movie. It's like he's remaking Clown House. Because the clowns start showing up, like, looking through the window, breaking into their house. Like, suddenly, and I mean suddenly, this turns into a haunted house movie. There's no real lead up other than the girl, like, is kind of pretending the house is haunted. But it doesn't turn out like, oh, but it turns out the witch board she was using was purchased at this abandoned gift shop on an Indian burial ground. Like, it doesn't do that. It just goes from this frat storyline, which even that had like, because the frat boys are paranoid because the girls.
That whole thing was so fucking convoluted.
She's 17, man. What? She's 17? We gotta sneak out the back, yo, damn!
You practically heard the tire screeching sound effect of this thing hitting the goddamn brakes.
What's the fucking legal age of drinking where this movie was filmed? Because
yeah, like
they're not concerned about the 18-year-olds. They're only concerned about the 17-year-olds.
Because, yeah, like, basically, they're at this party, and Madea and her friends go to this party to find them after they realize immediately that they snuck out.
Yeah.
And they're walking around in here, and the main, like, El Presidente of the fraternity says, like, okay, I got this great plan. Go hide up in my room, and your other underage friend can go with Dino here and hide in his room.
I got really concerned at that point because I know that these movies can get fucked up. Like, there's Madea movies that have incest in them.
Hey!
What? Yeah. Yeah. At least that one was supposed to be a drama.
Everybody got AIDS and shit.
Judith! Temptation, a much funnier movie than this, by the way. So I was expecting, like, is this gonna turn into, like, a date rape movie? Because I would not fucking put it past one of these movies.
Yeah, like the morality play at the end turns out like, Dad, he raped me.
I'm gonna find this boy, I stick my foot up his ass. Fuck.
Pulls a dildo out of her purse, like, oh, I'm gonna rape his ass back.
The fake poster for it is instead of Madea on the Halloween poster, it's Madea on the girl with the dragon tattoo.
But so they go there, they try finding the girls, and they hide them upstairs. Madea and her friends get kicked out of the party, and then
just thrown,
literally thrown.
Which was kind of satisfying, honestly.
Yeah.
Like, I had to sit, I already have a fucking headache. They won't stop shouting. They won't fucking, the one girl that you can't understand what she's saying grabs a microphone and starts singing. I guess that's what you'd call it. So, yeah, seeing them all get thrown out. Fucking Madea flashes all of them, and
they're, like, feeling around on her titties and shit.
For like 5 minutes!
Luckily for us, it's a profile shot of her just holding her shirt. Mm-hmm. So we don't have to see whatever the hell's going on. Like, oh man, how'd you get him to look so like wrinkly and like, oh, with the veins and shit? Like,
It is a Halloween movie. I wish that it was the full frontal shot. That might have been kind of funny.
I can see that. But yeah, so the part with the girls, they go upstairs and like the preacher's daughter gets paired up with this guy who he would seem like he's too much as an extra in like an Adam Sandler comedy.
Mm-hmm.
And she's like, so what's up, girl? I mean, we can do whatever. I mean, you know, go the whole way, fucking home run, grand slam. You know, I'm talking fifth base. She's like, what's that? I was like, I don't know. Me and you, we just get weird with each other.
Fifth base is where you wreck that shit.
And in talking like he was an extra from like Grease.
That dude was talking like he was an extra from Entourage.
And this girl's like, well, I don't know. I'm only 17. He's like, wait, what?
Whoa, Screech!
As in years old? As in, like, in people years?
Oh, shit! Runs out of the room like the other girls come in, including the two 18-year-olds are like, you're underage? Like, aren't you?
Like, the only shot they missed was, like, an outside, like, above shot of the house. Like, 17! teen.
Bats fly out of the trees. You know, Halloween.
And then the frat president and the
El Presidente
and Tyler Perry's daughter were in another room, and instead of like getting down to it, she's like, yeah, sorry about like her, she's my aunt, you know, we were like pranking them. He's like, ooh, girl, tell me more about this prank.
Mm-hmm.
And she apparently like explains what they were doing just in time for the other dude to run in. They're like, it's like, dude, stop. He's like, what? It's like, she's 17.
I know, son.
And then everyone's like, whoa, wait. Are you? He's like, yeah.
And at first she's like, no. And he's like, see, look at all of this. That's not 17. Like,
it's like, clearly she cannot be 17. I mean, look at this.
Like, she's still not of drinking age, bro.
It's another fucking Trump Jr.
Yeah.
And they're like, we gotta get them out of here. We're all gonna go to jail. And look at the other two, like the popular girls, like, it's like, don't tell me. They're like, no, we're 18. Like, hey, what's up? I mean, just that, like, fucking DTF, what's up? And so they have to sneak the girls out of there.
Mm-hmm. Before the cops show up. Which is like seconds later. It's like seconds later the cops show up in this scene and the girls escape and like get the fuck out of there. The cops shut down the party.
And these guys are known for the craziest parties. So clearly they gotta get some vengeance.
Craziest parties. I've seen Revenge of the Nerds. I know what a crazy party looks like. This was... The Halloween costumes they're wearing are the costumes you see every year at Spirit Halloween. Like the guy riding... The costume, the guy riding the turkey or whatever.
All of their costumes look like they went into like a Spirit Halloween with $300 and said, I need one of each of these.
Giant hot dog, giant, like, chicken, whatever.
The one dude was just wearing like pants and a t-shirt and then like your classic like vampire cape.
Yeah.
And that was it. That was his whole costume. And then like another guy was dressed as like this big like foam suit of like a playing card.
Meanwhile, so their actual Halloween costumes are super lame. You just go into like Spirit Halloween, pick whatever the first ones you see. Yet what we find out is that these same frat guys apparently have like a fucking Tom Savini studio in their goddamn attic because they're also the clowns that are fucking with him. And I'm talking like...
They did mention at the beginning, if you remember, the pledges that they had brought on board for this year. They brought on 4 people. Mm-hmm. One guy who could do backflips. Mm-hmm. One guy who could do barrel flips. A guy who was basically like Rami Malek's character from Mr. Robot.
Yeah.
And a makeup effects wizard.
So one fucking guy, one of their pledges at this thing, which probably means the guy's fucking broke. So
the guy looked like Shelley too.
Yeah. So yeah, one of their pledges is apparently already a seasoned makeup artist at this point, because once you start going to school for it, dude, you're fucking perfect. So it's the fucking they're dressed like the killer clowns from outer space, and then they're also the zombies, because a couple of them are backflip. It's what you see in the trailer. That is the only zombie scene in this, is when their car breaks down, the zombies show up. They just
all happen to be out there.
Yeah.
Just in the woods.
And then the scene of Madea running away from the zombie bros is instantly followed up.
The entire part of that scene is in the trailer, because it's just her running, and then she finds a church and runs inside.
Yeah, runs inside the church.
And we never see any more of the zombies.
No, you never see the zombies again. You don't see the clowns again. And
until the last scene, you don't even see the frat boys.
No,
it's just like that whole part is done. That's over with.
So we have then this like 10 minute sermon inside the church, where it is then explained to us, not shown to us, explained to us what just happened. The other 17-year-old, who's not Tyler Perry's daughter, comes out and says, "Oh yeah, that was the frat guys messing with you. Here's what they did to like make the house look haunted and the clowns."
Yeah, because a part we missed was like Medea's friends are back at Tyler Perry's house, and like one of them is like in the bathroom, and like the faucet keeps turning on and off, and then eventually like she looks up, and on the mirror, like it's like somebody's like writing out in like the steam on like the mirror, because like the hot water is steaming it up.
"Get your fat ass out of here" is what they write on it.
And one of the other ones is like she's in like the bedroom watching TV, and it keeps like turning on after she turns it off, and then like it pops up some like weird like demonic clown face, and it starts like saying something. I don't know.
How the fuck are the frat boys doing that shit?
Well, that was the thing with me, is like it's like the preacher's daughter mentions during her explaining like how the guys did everything. They're like, yeah, they had like this hacker, and he was, he hacked into like the TV and was making it do stuff, and like hacked into the lights to keep turning them on and off. He hacked into the plumbing. It's like, that is a really strong computer. The fact that he was able to hack into a TV, like I can do a lot of things with our smart TV from like my phone. Like I have like the little like smart TV app thing on the phone. So like you can do a bunch of stuff. I can turn it off, but I cannot use the app to turn it on. But even then, I also can't use it to then start streaming in like immediately like a video message. But even past that, I also don't know how you would use a computer to turn the faucet on.
And invisibly write, "Get the fuck out of here, fat bitch," on the mirror.
It's a really good computer.
Yeah, these guys are going places.
Like, this guy clearly a technomancer. Mm-hmm. Only explanation, he is a wizard that uses computers.
God. He speaks... He has Christian Slater giving him orders. I didn't want to know how spoiler heavy I wanted to get with that joke.
Just leaning in behind him like, it's like, look at her. She's fucking fat and pathetic. Tear her down. I swear to God, that is still one of my favorite scenes of anything ever. Is Rami Malek talking to that guy at the Steel Mountain, that server farm?
Yeah,
the guy who's like, it's like, I want to talk to your manager. Who the fuck are you? You're nobody.
Yeah.
Go home,
oh my God, that was
sit there alone having your meals. Post a lot of pictures of your cat, I bet. Yeah, because no one else in your life fucking cares. Like, if you were to die right now, would it even fucking matter?
That was haunting.
It's like, Jesus Christ.
That was, holy shit.
Like, USA, I was not prepared for this level of intensity in my programming tonight.
God, if I was forced to do that to somebody, I would go home and drink myself to death with a bottle of Jack. Holy shit.
I hope the guy that he was acting against in that scene had, like, earplugs in. It's like, okay, we're going to do this scene, and afterwards we have a crisis management counselor over here, because you're going to fucking want to talk to somebody.
Yeah.
Like, I know you read the script, but you're going to have to stand there and hear this probably 5 or 6 times a day to make sure we get it. Because this is a long take.
Stay home and watch Mr. Robot. It's better haunted house movie. Fuck. And then the last... God, the movie doesn't even end there. The last 20 fuck...
After we establish that the frat guys were pranking them...
Again, established in just... clunky exposition. It was like that bullshit ending of like fucking Red State, where like, oh, we didn't have the money to do the ending we wanted, so here's someone to explain things for 20 minutes. What? It was like that. It was like somebody comes in and just like, oh yeah, here's this what happened, and then this happened, and then that happened. Like, okay, I guess I'll take your word for it, since you're obviously not going to show me.
And here's everything that happened and why.
Oh no, it wasn't the end. Holy shit.
So Madea and her friends go back to the house, and they call Brian. It's like, look, you need to come home and deal with this shit.
Okay.
So he just shows up back at the house, because apparently whatever he was doing that was so important really wasn't that important, because he could just like drop it and head back home.
I love that whenever somebody got called on a cell phone in this, we never really see the person on the other end of the conversation. It's just the audio on the phone, and it's always just like, yeah, okay. Because God forbid it cuts to something else.
It saves time, because then you can just do the scene, you can just improv it, and then it's like, all right, well, you gave like 3-second pauses between each of your lines, so what could the other person be saying on the other end of the phone? Like, all right, sure.
Yeah. Oh, I'll be there in a moment. All right. Knock.
So he comes back home, and then the next like 15 minutes of the movie are him being berated by Madea and her friends.
So it's the first 20 minutes of the movie. Again, it's the same set of jokes from that first 20 minutes of that parlor scene.
Because in that one, they were ragging on him for not being strict enough as a parent, and he's like, no, I just watch the place, and she gets out.
Oh no, boy, I threw you out a window when you were younger. What?
Jesus Christ. It's like I found all these jokes that like George Lopez threw away because they weren't good enough.
That old man got the closest thing to a chuckle out of this movie when he looked at Medea right in the eye and just said, "Girl, you know goddamn well you got a prostate." That kind of got a chuckle out of me. But then, again, it's a joke that's ruined later because they do it again. And when they do it again later, it's not even a joke. He just straight up goes, "You know she's a man, right?"
So yeah, like she goes like check into things when the clowns start showing up at their place.
Yeah.
It's like, "I just want to tell you all something in case she doesn't come back. That's a man."
God damn it. You just ruined the one joke I kind of chuckled at in it. Fuck. So yeah, they berate him again with the same jokes as earlier. Remember when I threw you out a window, Dad? No. Oh, bitch, Dad, I told you don't say that word. I got a marijuana card. I know. You can't bust me. I got a card. I'm legal. Again and again and again with these same goddamn jokes. The one fucking woman dressed like an old lady doing flips and shit and running through and falling on her ass.
She did so many pratfalls.
Yeah, God, you know what? God bless her, because she did do those pratfalls. She was falling on her ass a lot in this movie. It was never making me laugh, but the audience sure as fuck was, because it was a thing happening on screen and it was moving.
This movie could have been 2 hours of someone shaking their keys, and I think it would have got the same response.
You want these keys? Ah, you can't have these keys. No, you can't have these keys. Being 3D. How did that shit go on for 2 hours?
We watched all of it.
And it turns out they're all setting up another prank for the daughter.
'Cause, yeah, they basically, like, the next, like, 10, 15 minutes are just, like, aside from all, like, the shitty rehashed jokes again, like, setting up, like, this, like, touching father-daughter moment where he finally learns to put his foot down and she finally learns that she does, in fact, need to respect him.
That's in the same sequence where there is, like, the touching sitcom moment, music playing, dad and the daughter are kind of getting along now, whatever, like the lesson is learned, but then like in the same scene it'll be followed up with a line like, oh, someone got my weed. Oh no, there's my weed.
I'm still gonna steal this shirt. It looked good as hell on me.
And meanwhile, old man's downstairs like, you're jerking off down here. Like, pick a tone, man. Fuck.
I still think somebody ought to beat her ass.
That's what it was, yeah. Just one whooping right across that ass. Just to be fair, this movie should have ended with Madea punching that teenage girl in the face.
And
then this prank. Which
we, the audience, are not in on, nor was any of the mechanics of it, nor any possible way this could have ever have been accomplished.
No, because no one would have been. I don't care how dumb these frat boys are.
Like, this wasn't like they decided, like, we're gonna go back and, like, dress as clowns and scare them back.
No, this was shit that, like, you're lucky someone didn't get shot or arrested.
This was beyond elaborate.
Yeah.
What they would have had to have done to get this pulled off.
It's the next morning.
Well, the cops show up at Tyler Perry's house to start it off with and arrest his daughter because they're saying that, like, oh, well, the preacher's daughter, you know, she hasn't been seen, like, she's been filed as a missing person, and you were the last person to see her at that party.
That's how that works.
And everybody's standing around like, oh no, don't arrest her.
Mm-hmm. Just gets arrested. Like, yeah, your friend went missing, so you're under arrest.
But I'm like, oh, that's horror movie logic, so maybe that's what they're going for at this point. But I'm like, in my head, I'm like, they just came from talking to her. And it was never set up like, oh, I have a plan. All right, people, lend an ear. And then,
yeah, you missed that?
Well, no, like she said, like, no, I got a good ass plan.
Oh, I knew. Oh, you didn't know this was a prank?
Well, I figured they were going to try something at some point, but as inept as these movies have shown themselves to be, I didn't trust that this wasn't just really shitty writing.
Oh, well, it was, but I mean, like, even as a prank.
Like in I mean, this one was really bad with it too, but like Witness Protection, 90% of that movie is establishing shots of the same house. Like, it'll show an establishing shot when someone walks from, like, the living room to the kitchen. Mm-hmm. It's like, yeah, I know where they're at. Mm-hmm. Or they'll, like, be on, like, a living room scene, and, like, it's like, oh, well, it's getting kind of late into the day.
Yeah.
You know, we got to start cooking dinner, and then it'll cut to the outside of the house to show that, like, the sun's going down, and then it'll cut back to them cooking dinner. It's like, I understand how time passes. Like,
yeah.
You don't have to coach me through it. Mm-hmm. Or the fact, like the really inept shit in that Christmas one. Mm-hmm. Where,
like Alicia Vitt with like the same wardrobe that the whole movie.
Every single scene she's in, she's wearing the exact same outfit. That
was ridiculous.
You had her for one day. Clearly.
I knew right away that this was the prank that they were doing, because as dumb as the situations get in these, if what happened in the last part of this was legit, it would be it still is one of the most cartoonish things, but it would be even beyond how dumb these movies get, because once the daughter's arrested, the frat boys, it's the next morning, and her friend, her 17-year-old friend, is found in the basement with her throat slashed. Not a bad effect either. Like, it really...
I can only assume that they had the same pledge to her makeup.
Exactly. Too. Yeah. Like, it's just this rather bloody, like
it's a good graphic, like, horror movie, like, slashed open throat.
Yeah, like, that was bloodier than anything in, like, Ouija, in Ouija Origin of Evil. So she's just... They think she's dead. They're like, oh, in the basement. Oh.
Meanwhile, the cops are knocking on the door until they finally decide to just burst in. Mm-hmm. And they're like, all right, everybody outside, we're going to check this place. And then 2 seconds later comes outside like, we got a body downstairs. She's been murdered.
You're all under arrest for murder. You're going to jail. And it is as elaborate as this plan is,
because they've got like a dozen or more cops that storm into the place, like they're trying to like raid the fucking Branch Davidian compound.
Yeah.
And they also have a prisoner transport bus waiting.
See,
because that's how you arrest people, is by putting them on a prisoner transport bus with already arrested, tried, convicted, and imprisoned.
Just take them right to the big house, man. That's why this prank is on the girl and those frat boys for falling for this shit. For like, oh, that's what happens, you know, someone is found in your basement, and then everyone there is just instantly
send you immediately
to San Quentin. Just put you on the bus with like rapists, murderers. There's like
Dominic Toretto.
Yeah.
Before they get him out of that one. I have to assume that's where they were going at the beginning of that Fast and Furious, because he was going to some college campus to pick up some more guys. And that's how they were able to spring him.
Fucking Huel from Breaking Bad was on this bus. The fuck? So yeah, they're talking about, oh, I'm gonna get you in the shower, I'm gonna make you feel so good. Which, by the way, they seem to be transporting them to a
co-ed prison.
A co-ed prison, yeah, like it's violence in a women's prison.
Finally, Tyler Perry's next one is gonna be some weird, like, fucking women in prison movie.
Yeah.
That's what I've been waiting for this whole time.
maybe I haven't seen Madea Goes to Jail. Maybe there is a scene in that where he puts the razor blade on a cork and up the vagina like a women's prison massacre. Maybe that shit gets really dark. So yeah, the frat guys all fall for this. A fucking fight breaks out in the bus with all the prisoners just beating the shit out of each other. The frat guys are leaning out the window like, help, All right, wrap it up, bring them on in. And then...
while this is happening, the officer who arrested them all, put them on cuffs, and escorted them onto the bus is talking with Madea about like, girl, hell, you know I'm not no cop. Shit, you call me around to your house, it's getting robbed, I'm liable to take some shit too. I am not the police.
Well, that's good, because I got a warrant. I'm still on a terrorist watch list.
And so they decide like, all right, the pranking is over, let's get him off the bus. And, it's like, I hope you all learned a lot of valuable lessons.
We did, yo! We did! Oh, we'd never do that shit again. We're so sorry!
And then a cop comes out of their house, it's like, we found weed in here. And all of them are like, oh no! The one friend like, I got my card, I'm legal, y'all! I'm legal!
I didn't know she had a weed card. She didn't tell me that 30 times in this with the same fucking weed card joke.
And then Madea is joking with Brian, like, it's like, all these are fake police. He's like, no, I am a federal prosecutor, as we've established in these movies. Like, I'm a federal prosecutor. These are real officers. Apparently, except for the one woman impersonating a police officer and physically detaining people.
And going into...
Like, this is a whole list of crimes.
Dude, no.
Why do you have a fake cop there if you also called 35 real cops there too?
Oh yeah, like a whole fucking, like, as many as in like a SWAT team. So,
and
but no,
all of these cops were okay with like, let's go over there to help out our buddy, the federal prosecutor Brian, with his pranking. But while we're here, sure, let's actually go ahead and do like a drug raid on this place.
Right. It's like,
might as well pass the time.
Pranking is probable cause as long as you're part. It's like vampires once you invite them in.
God damn it.
So I was thinking the same thing. I was like, well, you know what? I guess so long as you're a prosecutor, at the drop of a hat, you get a prison transport bus, about 30 cops, some people to be prisoners in the back there, make a fight break out.
Yeah, but they also mentioned that all of the prisoners on there were just people that Madea knows from her neighborhood.
From the neighborhood, yeah.
So he managed to borrow an entire, like, tactical force of cops. Minus one, so they had to find a just one person to pose as a cop, and enough people to sit on this bus. Like, apparently they got a hold of the bus, but they couldn't borrow any prisoners for the day. And doing all of this, it's like you can't establish probable cause by setting up a situation that forces the cops to go in there and then have them be like, oh, well, we have reason to be here now, might as well find some shit.
Yeah.
Like,
which there was not a lot of weed in that bag, by the way.
I feel like it won't be too much longer before the character Brian loses his license to practice law in that state.
Yeah. Everyone, and the cop comes out like, we also found weed in there, and everyone just runs. So it ends in...
Cue the Benny Hill music.
Yeah,
people,
or like Three Blind Mice from the end of the Three Stooges, like wah 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 wah, and just running away. Like the frat boys are running away. Madea and her friends just fucking book it. Meanwhile, Tyler Perry and daughter like, let's go home.
Hard cut to credits.
Yeah.
That is suddenly mid-scene, that was the end of the movie, cut to credits.
Happy fucking Halloween. You know, when I watch a movie a Halloween seasonal movie, regardless if I'm watching like a horror movie for the season or maybe like the silly comedy that takes place around Halloween or something. Stuff has to at least happen in them. Fuck, if you're watching like a scary movie around Halloween, you really want to get in the mood. I got the lights shut out at night. Like I said, maybe you're watching a campy comedy or like a horror movie or something. Man, why the fuck would you put on something like this where they're just sitting there for like a half hour in the same goddamn room riffing on shit? Or just ad-libbing back and forth about nothing.
Yeah, it'd be like if you were watching The Nutty Professor and whenever he goes to like his house and like, you like see the whole family, oh, Hercules, and that whole thing. Mm. If that dinner table scene was 45 solid minutes of the movie.
Yeah.
Like, not only are you in there to see them riff for a few minutes and then cut to something else, like, no, you're in there for them the entire time that they are all eating and then bullshitting after dinner and then, like, finally, like, getting up to, like, do the dishes or watch TV or some shit.
Yeah, then maybe it'll cut to a jack-o'-lantern, so it's a Halloween movie now. This same plot could exist regardless of this being Halloween. You could make a quick rewrite, you could set it on fucking April Fool's Day.
It'd be like the movie April Fool's Day, in which no one died.
Yeah. Do a double feature of that with Slaughter High.
Yeah, great. I've watched 2 movies today, and 2 horror films in which people are brutally murdered throughout them. Total end body count, 0.
Tired of these. Gonna watch some other, like, an action movie now or something. Pop in Wisdom. Or that piece of shit that ended with it all being a dream.
I hate that ending for anything.
Oh. God.
Unless it's Dallas or like Newhart.
Yeah, fuck yeah. Newhart, definitely. Mm-hmm.
So I had the weirdest dream. What's that, honey?
Tell me, what's with the blonde wife and the blue sweater? I'm going back to sleep now. Dallas and Newhart, exactly.
I guess you could also count Saint Elsewhere. I'm not really sure how you fall on that one.
Well, if we're getting into the details on that, it's not just Saint Elsewhere.
And by logical extension, any other show you've seen.
Uh-huh.
Before or after it was made.
Mm-hmm. Just like how most of my series are all in the head of Fat Grandma. Really, I have no right to be judging this movie. This movie just makes me want to take this script and just put Lewis in it.
But no, definitely, like, the fact that it's a Halloween movie only comes into play because they say that it's a Halloween party.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, this could have been just like...
It could have just been a frat party. Like, hey, we're having a party this weekend, you guys should come. And they say, okay.
Yeah.
And that's it.
You could have called it, like, Medea's Sleepover. That's pretty much what this fucking movie is. I mean, look, if you're a fan of this series, and you're really looking forward to this...
If you're a fan of this series, I don't think you're watching our videos.
There might be a few hardcore Madea fans watching this if you haven't made it to this part without shutting it off.
It's like, I don't appreciate their tone.
Mm-hmm. It's like the one... I'm sorry. There was a commenter on Birth of a Nation when Matthew and I went to go see that new one. And we both ended up recommending it, but there were certainly some things to criticize about it.
We both ended up recommending the original.
Far better. No, Matthew certainly had a lot of criticisms about the movie, and then somebody in the comments writes, "See this? This is what white supremacy looks like." Having a few critical words about Birth of a Nation, but at the end still recommending it. You're practically David Duke.
I mean, might as well.
Yeah.
I mean, there's that giant burning cross outside the window over here. I mean,
That's how we keep warm when it gets...
so chilly in here.
Oh no, the Klan was in the last Madea movie.
I keep forgetting that's actually true.
That part was kind of funny. I laughed more at the Madea running from the Klan than I did anything in this goddamn movie. That's the secret ingredient in these movies.
It's the Klan.
Physical humor mixed in with the Klan. That's what gave me the biggest laugh in these goddamn movies. Fuck. How you gonna rate this on the scale of the shit from this year?
This is gonna be high up on the list.
This is gonna be up there. Like it's not worse than Hillary's America. I would rather listening to the shrieking horror of a daughter in this than just simply look at Dinesh D'Souza's face.
Which I feel bad. I missed him and Patton Oswalt's little Twitter war the other day, and I'm like, I don't have the effort to go back and scroll back.
I saw it. I was getting tweeted about that.
Yeah. Somebody like sent me over a thing like, it's like, dude, you gotta go check out Patton Oswalt's thing.
Yeah, I got that too.
Like, I don't have that much in me right now.
It was amazing. It was pretty amazing. Did you know he retweeted our reviews of because somebody tweeted it to him, our reviews for Hillary's America, but they made it look like it was positive. They were like, these patriots really seem to like your movie. So without even clicking on it, he just simply retweeted it. I was wondering why I started getting more comments on those videos not long ago.
It would explain, like, there when you guys were getting a lot of people bitching at you for making, like, political statements during the review.
What are the odds? We're talking about politics in a political movie. This just in, a review for God's Not Dead may feature talk about religion. This just in, our review for Madea Halloween, we may mention bad comedy. This isn't, I wouldn't put this high, in terms of the worst of the year list, I wouldn't put this higher than Hillary's America. I wouldn't put it higher than Vaxxed. Only because it's not gonna physically harm you.
A fair point. I don't know, like Letty was saying the whole time, like, it's like, I just have such a fucking headache. I'm like, are you okay? It's like, dude, I think it's just this movie.
I have a huge fucking headache right now.
She's nodding her head.
Yeah, I have a goddamn motherfucker of a headache right now. Like, there's a reason.
See, and, like, I guess, like, for me, it's like you get mono once, or like you get the chicken pox once, and like you don't have to worry about it again. So like I'm past that stage. Like
maybe it's just the first time that I've seen this in a theatrical setting, because it's not the first Madea movie that I saw, but
it's a different experience. Especially, it's like when we're like that night that like I was like. We were over at our place and drinking. I'm like, it's like, no, it's 4 a.m. You are watching Madea Christmas right now.
We were shit-faced, and we started watching Madea Christmas, because I think at that point I had, like, just seen Single Moms Club.
It's like they couldn't get worse than this. Is this how all of his movies are like, hold on, let me download this real quick.
Yeah, so it was like the sun was rising. We're shit-faced watching this, and I think I was more mad at Single Moms Club, because that was like, with that movie, like, everything about it just kind of blindsided me. With Madea Christmas, I had seen you guys' midnight screenings of it, so I really already knew a lot. I mean, granted, nothing will really prepare you for, like, the editing in a lot of those movies, but, like, the stuff like
at least, like, this one, like, I will say, like, it got better about that.
This? Oh, I thought this was
Oh no, it's terrible.
No, I don't mean like, what, you like this? No, I just mean like in terms of editing.
Well, I mean, as far as like some of the clumsy shit that was in like Madea Christmas, where it was like
the Christmas
suddenly
white.
like it started like zooming in, or like the camera would just start drifting slightly left.
No, that's true. Like, I mean, it had less awkward stuff like that. Even comparing it to like Single Moms Club, where like there would be no shot to
Suddenly he stops using establishing shots.
Yeah, where like I thought it was 2 people in a scene, but it was actually 12. There was one part where I thought it was 2 people in a car, but it's like 5. That shit happened all the time in fucking Single Moms Club. This didn't really have anything like that, but in this, it was a different kind of editing problem. It was more like...
It still relied really heavily on the establishing shot of the house.
Well, it did do that, but also what...
Periodic wipes.
Yeah, there were wipes. But, like, it also was doing a thing where, like, it just wouldn't let scenes end. It was almost like there was no editing going on. Like, these scenes just aren't ending.
It's like,
they just keep
roll,
going.
Man, it is gold.
That was a different kind of editing problem than something like Single Moms Club. Honestly, even like Madea Christmas. Because like at the beginning of Madea Christmas, where like she's working at the department store and they're kind of riffing back and forth with each other, but it was cutting away to other shit. It was confusing because it was like, I don't know how this shit is tying into each other, but whatever.
There's a bunch of series of events, and eventually we'll put them in order for you.
Yeah, I mean, it still wasn't... Again, it was just a different kind of bad editing, honestly. It really is like, pick your poison. Regardless, something's gonna piss you off.
I remember that one, the jumping around, like, it was kind of one of those things, like when you're watching, like, the first episode of what you know is eventually going to be, like, an ensemble TV series, but the characters haven't met yet. Mm-hmm. So it's like, cut to this person driving to the gas station, cut to this person, he's in his office trying to figure out this, like, filing error in their taxes. Mm-hmm. Cut to this person, like, they're, you know, like, picking up their kid from school. Like, what the fuck is happening?
Yeah.
Like, do these people know each other, or are they just don't know each other yet?
Any final thoughts about this? I don't fucking recommend this shit. If you're a fan, then clearly you'll have a great time at this. If not,
you have a high tolerance to wait till this point to decide. Yeah,
exactly. Like, if you're not a fan, like, look, we have an excuse. We're just yelling about it on camera afterwards for the internet. Like,
there was one huge thing that was bothering the shit out of me. Brian's dad, Joe, his prosthetic hands.
I never noticed. I didn't notice that.
It's bad.
Yeah.
Because Tyler Perry has the hands of a man who is somewhere between the ages of 45 and 80. Mm-hmm. Fuck old he is, but whatever the fuck old he is. Mm-hmm. His father had really, really old hands, though.
Yeah.
He was wearing, like, hand gloves.
Really?
Because if you ever notice, like, all of the scenes with him doing stuff, like, he's only ever, like, either hiding his hands off camera.
Well, he had him under the blanket in that one scene because he was jerking off.
Or he's just, like, holding that cane.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But, like, you could see, like the way he had, like, his hands, like, he couldn't use them for shit. He had, like, fucking sausage fingers. Because, like, whenever he comes out, like,
they couldn't afford, like, Tom Cruise's hands from Tropic Thunder.
Yeah, it's like whenever he comes out, like the keys are in the ignition, so I can't use them as the exact prop. But he comes out to be like, it's like, you forgot your keys.
Mm-hmm. Oh.
It just, like, lets him go. It's like, I'm heading back in. Or, like, whenever he, like, he's having that, the one friend, like, loan him a joint so he can get high while they're gone. Like, he's just holding it like this, like, wait, I don't have a lighter.
Yeah.
It's like, you can't use your fucking hands, you idiot, because you're wearing old man hand gloves. It was so weird. Especially because they made his face... He is wearing blackface as his father, who is a much darker man. But then the color of the gloves were about 15 shades lighter, and I know that like it, you know, it's not like a set in stone rule that like, you know, you're one like set skin tone throughout. But it was just odd. It's like, like if you're gonna make the rest of him that much darker, like go for the fake hands too. Just take him back and like spray paint him some more. But no, it was weird because like he just kept like not doing anything with his hands.
Yeah.
And it just made me think of that that episode of It's Always Sunny. I think it was like the last season, where it's the McPoyle Ponderosa trial.
I don't know if I saw that one.
It's really weird because Jack Kelly is in it with his small hands.
Oh, yeah.
So he's like, you might remember me as a man with small hands.
I saw this one. Okay, yeah.
But you'd be mistaken. It has these giant rubber mitts
I remember that.
That's what it felt like to me.
God, I can't think of anything else about this, but I can't think of anything else about the movie. Also, I gotta piss like a motherfucker right now.
My usual problem with this.
I've got a hardcore take a leak, but I remember that episode. I do remember that episode now because I remember that bit. But I want to. It's almost like I want to look up like images now of this character just to look at his hands. But
it's weird, and like say, as soon as like you're paying attention to it, like you can tell like he can't pick up things for shit. That's why the entire movie he's just sitting in that chair or like hiding his hands or just holding onto that cane like yep.
I was too worried. I was probably just mad about 50 other things in this goddamn movie, but yeah, I got nothing else. This movie sucks. Of course it sucks. Just go see Ouija Origin of Evil if you want to see a Halloween movie. What the fuck? Or
go see Jack Reacher too.
Yeah, go see Jack Reacher.
Also
a Halloween movie. Fuck this. This is bad. Any other final thoughts before I race out of the car and take a leak in the bushes?
I guess if you're gonna, if you've already seen the other ones and you need to see something, I don't know, like pity watch Keeping Up with the Joneses. I hear it's doing fucking horrible.
Yeah.
It's because somebody's got to watch it, I guess.
Be the one person who goes to see that.
Tell your friends.
Yeah, that movie's getting worse reviews than this is. I almost want to see it now out of curiosity. Fuck. See ya.